You're listening to As I Was Saying. I'm April Simpkins, and each episode we unpack what's quietly messing with your mental health at work and how to take your peace back without quitting everything. This podcast is for you if just pushing through is wrecking your peace. I'm breaking down the stuff we all deal with and giving you tools to actually do something about it. Hi, I'm April Simpkins, and welcome to As I Was Saying. This is my very first episode, and so I thought it'd be fitting to start off by sharing a little bit about why this podcast exists. Why now? Why mental health in the workplace? Why that really needs to be part of the conversation. So, you know what? Let's start with the obvious. Work is hard. We spend a ton of time there, and yet for so many of us, we have feelings of being undervalued or misunderstood or mentally drained. But here's the part we don't talk about enough, those very feelings. They're not just part of the job, they're warnings. It's a signal that something's not working. And I've spent about 35 years helping businesses kind of untangle their people problems and not just the let's write a new policy kind of problems. I'm talking about the real stuff like burnout teams and overwhelmed leaders and communication breakdowns. Those I just can't do this anymore. Those kind of moments. And for about 20 years of my career, I ran my own consulting firm where myself and my team worked with over 1,000 businesses going through 15 different industries. I'm talking like medical practices, manufacturing floors, fast food, tech startups. And here's the thing, I didn't just talk to the leaders at the top. I listened to everybody, whether I was sitting in an executive meeting or a team training, a strategy session. I listened to leadership, but most importantly, my team and I ran an employee hotline, and employees could call in and talk about what kept them up at night, what their worries were, those moments when they didn't want to have to go to work tomorrow, and they'd share why. I got a 360 view of what was going on inside that business, what was working and what, definitely wasn't working. And I started really noticing these kind of patterns, how much stress and fear, the emotional weight that people were bringing to work. And many times leaders either had no idea that employees were feeling this way, or even worse, they noticed it and they just didn't know what to do with it. So in doing the work that I do, I became fluent. I was almost like bilingual in the language of leadership and the language of followership. And let me tell you, translation is everything when you're trying to build a workplace and create a place where you hope people just want to come to work. And that really does exist. And that's when I realized something that, in the workplace, those challenges aren't just about business. It's about people with histories and heartache, responsibilities, ambition, vision, dreams, and some people who are really struggling with their mental health because mental health doesn't, clock in at 9 and clock out at 5. So why this podcast? Well, over the years, I've had a lot of conversations. I've done a lot of speaking events and a lot of Q&A sessions. And so many times, just when the conversation is getting good, bam, we run out of time. So this podcast is my chance to just go deeper, to just kind of pick up those conversations. And that's why I named it As I Was Saying, because I still got more to say, and maybe so do you. So whether you're someone in a leadership position who's trying to show up better for your team, or you're an employee trying to survive another meeting that should have been an email, this space is for you. And each and every episode, I'm going to unpack the messy, the complicated, and the very real intersection of mental health and work, burnout, boundaries, emotional resilience. We're going to talk about it all. We're going to talk about the things that we all feel, but we rarely say it out loud. And I promise we're not going to just sit in the struggle. Lord knows we got enough of that. We're going to talk solutions for leaders, for managers, and for non-managers alike. You're going to walk away with ideas, insight, a new strategy, a different vantage point, and always small actions that can make a big difference. We're going to focus on how to create workplaces where well-being isn't just a side note, it's the absolute standard. So thanks for being here, for pressing play, for caring enough to keep listening. We're really just getting started, and so I hope you'll join me for the journey. Let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for joining me on, As I Was Saying, my first episode. And don't forget to subscribe so you know when we'll be dropping the next episode. And during that next episode, we're going to talk about the hidden mental load of being the go-to person at work. If that sounds interesting, make sure you subscribe so you'll know when it drops. And if this episode was helpful, share it with someone who just might benefit. This is April Simpkins, as I was saying. Be well.